Well, here I am, Toolman Tim back here in the workshop where we build business, create community, find freedom, and share success. So this is absolutely a test. I am sure there's no one out there. If someone drops in, excellent. I have been, well, since I made my 1,000 subscribers on here, I've had the ability to mobile live stream and I haven't done it yet. So I thought I would give it a shot. Actually, I was really looking forward to testing out the live streaming over on Odyssey, and I see Joseph. Hey, Joseph. I figured, yeah, I was going to test out over on Odyssey. I couldn't get it to work. I have been trying for the last half hour. I tried like 16 live stream attempts. I even put one up and misspelled it love stream. So, whatever. Anyway, so here I am. I figured what I'm going to do doesn't mean I'm going to do this every week, but I'm going to collect the different questions I get asked on all my different social media platforms and do a Q&A. So at least you can come here whenever I get around to doing this. This is not going to be an everyday, all the time thing, but I thought I would share with you guys some of the questions I got, some of the answers I gave, and at least it'll be saved on here so people can go back and check it out later. But anyway, finally synced my channel with Odyssey this weekend, so it should slowly load. Apparently 148 more videos. Well, I did mine back on a whim. When was it? July, August? I remember I was out on the zero-turn mower, and it said, hey, I remember Jack was talking about it on the Survival Podcast. This is time I did it. And I just put it on there and forgot about it, so I don't have a sweet friggin' clue how long it took me to do it. But, yeah. And I think, of course, with all the growth that's been on there, it's grown like crazy. It is what it is. So I'm surprised I can actually read these tiny little comments when you comment them, Joseph, because, well, these old eyes aren't as good as they used to be. So anyway, yeah, like I said, this is going to be a test. We're just giving this a go to see how it works. And I've done live streaming a few times for giveaways. This is the first time I've actually tried it. Just, I put together some Q&As, questions that people have asked me. But yeah, so let's move into it. If anybody else pops in, you can join me in here. And if you got a question, you can throw it up on the screen. But honestly, I really just wanted to work the bugs out in a low stress, no announcement kind of situation and throw a few out here. So anyway, these first few came from MeWe. So if you're watching this down the road and you want to follow me over on MeWe, the link in the description below, you can check it out there. And yeah, come over and check out MeWe. I've been on there a couple of years. It's really started to grow in the last, I don't know. Well, since they did the censorship crackdown there a few months ago. And yeah, there's a really awesome community. I got a 400 followers over there, and I'd love it. Yeah, so if you guys get a chance, go over and check that out. So Kyle asked if I had any experience with a 60-volt DeWalt battery, how to bring it back to life. Because when he puts it on the charger, it lights up like it's charging, and then it goes boom like that. It's full. It says it's full. He puts it on a tool, and it just shows up as nothing. And we all know that those 60-volt flex volt batteries are expensive. So I thought, okay. Well, anyway, I'd watched some videos for it. I've been lucky with my flex volt batteries. Anyway, so the easy thing you can do, did a bunch of digging to find out, you can jump them. So there are some links. If I remember, I'll throw them down here, but just search jumping flex volt DeWalt battery and you find the terminals that are testing funny. The guy that I watched put a couple of utility knife blades in there and then hooked up another fresh battery that he knew was good to it, and it basically balanced out the load between the two batteries. It jumped it, and I think what ended up happening was some of the cells got so low that they were basically dead. And they were so low they couldn't get a charge. It's kind of like when I leave my lights on my quad, and then the battery's so dead it won't take a charge. I have to boost it in order to get it to take a charge. Anyway, so do a search on YouTube for that. It really looks like it's probably the best solution. And then If you're handy with soldering and you don't mind taking batteries apart, there is some videos on there on how to replace a faulty cell within a DeWalt FlexVolt battery, but to be absolutely honest, I got no interest in doing that. I mean, I know they're expensive, and maybe it would work, but if anybody does do it, let me know. I'd love to hear. So, the next one over on MeWe, BBQ or Barbecue Homesteader, asked me if I had any GoPro recommendations or if I had any, what do you want to call it, any experience with GoPros. And to be honest, way back when, before I actually launched this small business handyman kind of thing, I was thinking about doing satisfying AMSR, I don't know, whatever the kids call it, videos, and I never got any traction with it. But what I did do for a while was I wore a GoPro while I went out and blew snow, and I did some time-lapse videos. And the one I bought was like $50 on Amazon. It was called an action camera, and it came with a metric shit ton worth of accessories, and I really liked it. It had a good battery. I think I ended up buying like 6 extra batteries and a charger on Wish for 15 cents or something. No, anyway, they worked good, but I really liked it. It fit on my head really nice. It was comfortable, and it's not real expensive. We ended up buying my nephew one for his birthday a few months later, and he really liked it too. So if you're looking for a cheap knockoff GoPro camera, the Action Cam seems to be the guy to use. So I used it. It worked super well in my dead of the winter, minus 35 cold weather. I even strapped it on the end of my backpack blower one time, and it worked really well. But yeah, so he was looking more for something that he could leave outside and do a long-term time lapse. I don't have any experience in that, but if anybody out there does have a GoPro that's not super expensive that you'd recommend leaving outdoors for a long period of time, for like, I think it was about 5 days for an outdoor project he was doing, give it a shot, or, you know, throw it in the comments and let me know, because yeah, the only one I've used is the Action Cam. It's like $50 Canadian, so like $12 American, and it worked. And then I bought an accessory pack too, and then like I said, I think I bought maybe it was a 4-pack plus a charger, and it worked. Oh, and then I bought a lightning adapter for my iPhone that I could plug the SD card in, because I like to do all my editing on mobile. Anyway, but it's basically set and collected dust for quite a while. So anyway, Boutique Greens asked me this week if I would describe my updated window washing gear. So for me, if you guys follow me, you know that window washing has become one of my go-to absolute best money-making services. So number one, if you're looking at getting into it, it doesn't take a whole lot. You can buy one of those cheap Atori squeegee kits, which I've got an affiliate link somewhere. I just made a post on social about what all I use, but yeah, it's like $25 on Amazon. Maybe it's even a little less than that, and it comes with a scrubber and an extension pole and a squeegee, and you can get started. Go to your downtown area, go in, introduce yourself, and say, hey, I'm cleaning windows, and just go to absolutely everybody and say, I'd like to, and pick up a few customers, practice, get a little bit better. But I've gone I have a 12-inch Atori squeegee. It's all brass. I love it, except that the little nuts on it come loose once in a while, and I had to trim the rubber off on the far side so I could get a good hard steel edge right against there, because what I found was the rubbers they come with are a little oversized, and if you have a little too much extra sticking out on the other side, it ends up leaving just a little tiny streak of water there. So I trimmed the rubber off, and it works perfect. So I use an Atori 12-inch, and then I have a Unger 16 and an 8-inch. I don't use the 16 nearly as much as I thought I would, because I'm just not that damn good. The 12 is perfect for me, and the 8 works in those little windows that you find on a garage door. So I thought that was pretty cool. I like them a lot. And my favorite, I don't know, I like all my window washing tools, but the other one I bought now is a 14-inch Unger scrubber. I used to have the cheap guy I used for a long time that came with my little starter kit, which is all you need to get started. Actually, the first set of windows I did was for a customer who had the gear themselves, and it was basically just a glorified gas station window washer kit thing. So whatever. Anyway, it did a horrible job, but she was happy with it, and I've gone back every year since and gotten better every time. But the 14-inch Unger scrubber. Love it. Check that out on Amazon too. But then, of course, my little 2.5 gallon bucket didn't fit the 14-inch Unger anymore. So I was like, well, I needed to buy something better. So I ended up buying myself a 14-inch window washing bucket. It's made by Atori, and I love it. And what are my secrets? Oh, yes. Blue Dawn dish detergent instead of Windex. Don't use Windex. Use dish detergent. I love it. And quadruple zero steel wool. And everybody says, steel wool on a window, you're crazy. Absolutely not. If you, make sure it is the 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, because anything else will scratch windows. But it absolutely works great on bugs and dirt and grime and whatever. So yeah, if you're looking for the absolute two things that work the best, Blue Dawn dish detergent and quadruple zero steel wool. Those are the two, and it works. So that's my gear that I use now. And then this was one I commented on. I wasn't actually asked this in particular. I just kind of stuck my nose. No, I'm just kidding. But Will over on MeWe said he inherited an old chainsaw from his dad. His dad always took really good care of it. He ended up letting it sit for too long, like we all do with gas-powered engines, and that's why I've been gradually moving over to DeWalt battery stuff. But he let it sit too long. It developed a leak in the gas line. He repaired the gas line with new gas line, which is great. But then it started, it worked, and as soon as he tried to give it any fuel, it died. And he kept trying that, and he wondered what his situation or solutions were. And you know, I'm no small engine mechanic, but I've learned a lot out of necessity. When my wife and I first got together before we were married, I inherited a very old, very used $100, I can't even remember the name of it, but it was a weed whipper, and it was miserable. And I learned how to rebuild everything in it because I had no choice. So basically what I always do when I have something that is acting like that, it's almost always the carburetor. So you got to take the carburetor out, watch a video on how it works, how to do it, but it's not that difficult. Take the carburetor out, then you're going to look on the carburetor, that's the silver square thing, for a number. You're going to find the number on there, and you're going to order a carb repair kit or a carb kit on Amazon or eBay. Wherever you can find it, you can get it the cheapest and the quickest. Then you're going to take once you get all the pieces, you're going to take the entire carburetor apart, and you're going to soak it in brake clean or some sort of penetrant overnight really well. Then you're going to pick it up, and you're going to spray every little nozzle and everything in it out with brake clean, and it works great, which, yeah, I love that. And then compressed air. And then when you put it all back together, the thing that's going to give you the biggest pain in the butt are the little screens that go back in the carburetor, and make sure that the little diaphragms are going the right way. You'll probably cuss and swear and screw it up 3 times, but when you rebuild your carburetor, it's probably going to run like a dream. But put seafoam through it anyway, replace the spark plug, get a new air filter or clean it if you can, and that's about it. I gotta sneeze. Oh, live streaming. It's awesome. Sorry, guys, if somebody just went deaf because of that. So then, 2 more questions. Over on YouTube, Charlie Soto wanted to know if the DeWalt USB adapter is going to work on the new compact 12-volt DeWalt batteries. So my answer is yes, I'm pretty sure. But I did a bunch of digging. I found first off, I found that the DeWalt USB adapter says it works on all 12 and 20 volt DeWalt Max batteries, whatever it was. Anyway, and the new compact 12-volt batteries say that they work on all tools and accessories that the previous 12-volt batteries work on. So they're in everything that DeWalt puts out. There's nothing that says it won't work. If somebody has one and wants to do a test, to let me know for sure. But in all the literature I was able to read on the DeWalt, absolutely it should work. And if I'm wrong, I apologize, but to me it looks like it should. And then the last question I had this week was from a guy named, I'm sorry, I'm going to mispronounce this, Yeesh, and he asked me, how does one get involved in property management? And I, you know me, I love to talk about it, but it happened to me absolutely by mistake or by accident. it was something I thought I'd like to do. I was getting into doing maintenance and that sort of thing. And I got a call one day from a lady out of the city and said, "Hey, do you look after bank properties?" And of course, I didn't want to say no. She's like, "Well, I'd love to hire you to do that." Anyway, so yeah, it just sort of happened to me by mistake. Not by mistake, but the local realtors, they recommended me and said, "Yeah, Tim does property management." And I was taking care of a couple of rentals, but I never got into doing bank property management, And anyway, so she called me, and the rest is history. We have a 3-hour route that we do now and we look after. Right now, we've got about a dozen since COVID ended. The courts reopened. There's been a lot of foreclosures. It's kind of sad, but anyway, so if you are looking to get into doing bank property management, the first thing I would do is I would drive around and I would look for, and it's kind of sad, but if you see those houses with the white pieces of paper in the window, it'll say this property is bank owned. So if you are, so inclined, number one, there's a ton of turnover in these bank property companies. There's people that work for a while and then just disappear. So they're always looking to hire people. So get that 800 number or the contact info on that sheet of paper in there and just cold call them and say, "Hey, my name's Tim. I want to work for you. Or are you hiring?" And most times they'll say, "Well, maybe," or "We'll keep you on file," or "Yeah, absolutely." And number two, I love telling this story, but do what my buddy Ryan Collette did and take the business cards shaped like cookies, or cookies shaped like business cards with your contact info, into the local realtor's office and say, "Hey guys, I'm here. I'm doing maintenance. I want to do property management." And just let people know, this is what I do. I really want some business. If anybody calls you looking for somebody who does property management, I'm the guy. And don't forget their coffee, and maybe do it 2 or 3 times. Is it bribing? Yes. Is it ethical? Yes. Will it get you work? Almost every time. But, so get your name out there, be creative, talk to realtors, talk to landlords, find those houses in the area that are looking for that. Do a Google search, because what ends up happening is there tends to be multiple property companies, some that represent each bank. And then if you know some small credit unions, you can even call them and say, who does your property management? Because I got a call one day from a local small credit union, people who didn't know, they didn't have a clue. We had a foreclosed house, or a foreclosed property that the guy had barricaded himself in, and basically was taunting the bank saying, "You can't come and take this property." And I don't do repossessions, but they needed to get in and look at the place. Anyway, the guy had ended up leaving. We had to beat the door down with a sledgehammer. There is video somewhere, but I obviously can't post it online, but it was pretty cool. It was one of the craziest stories I ever had. But anyway, so, there's all kinds of ways to get into it, but the big one is to just make contacts. Even call banks, local banks, and say, "Hey, what company takes care of your bank management properties, and what's their contact info?" And then make cold calls and contact them and say, "Hey, I'm looking for this." And if you call 5 and 4 of them turn you down, the 5th one might be the one, or all 5 might turn you down, and then you might go on to the next one and say, "All right, just keep pushing, make all the contacts you can, and also get practiced up." So, if you can get into some local property management with a landlord, just advertise, "Hey, I do paint, I do garbage runs," and a lot of times they'll say, "Hey, do you do property management?" "Yeah, I do property management," even though I didn't know what the hell property management was when I started. So anyway, I see we have 4 people in here, so that is actually really, really cool. I didn't expect to have anybody in there. So if there's anybody there, I'm pretty sure I can see the chat. Now I'm going to look like a weirdo here trying to do this. Let's go live chat. Yeah, okay, I don't know. There, oh yeah, that's the one from Joseph before. So if there's anybody in there that, if you had any questions you want to ask, great. If not, that's okay too. But this ended up being kind of my social. Hey, Little Klondike Outdoors. Hello, how are you? It's great to see you. I was planning on doing an Odyssey live stream tonight. Hey, we have 5 now. But I was planning on doing an Odyssey live stream tonight, and it ended up, I don't know. I really, really wanted it to work. I absolutely wanted it to work, and I could not make Streamlabs work. Every time I tried to connect to the server, it just kept saying server rejected, like a 14-year-old boy asking a girl out to the junior prom. It just did not work at all. So anyway, I thought I'd come over here on YouTube and yeah, do that. So if there's anyone else in here that's still here, say hello. I'd love to greet you online here. And I'm going to try to collect up all of my social media questions that I get. There's not a day goes by that somebody doesn't ask my opinion, which is absolutely humbling because I love it, guys. I appreciate you asking me these things. I'd love. Hey, Schaefer. I hope I pronounced that right. Oh, I'm doing this on my iPhone out in my garage, so just learning, just getting the hang of this thing, and I really like it. I've enjoyed it. So thanks for dropping by, guys. I really appreciate it. I'd love to do these more often. I may even try to make them a Sunday evening thing eventually. It seemed to work. I'd love to be able to stream them on multiple platforms, so if anybody knows of a solution to that, throw that in the comments below too. But anyway, guys, that's it for me for tonight. And as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week.